Vase, $10 more, 1-800-Flowers.com, code HERD. Dahntay Jones at 13 NBA seasons, a champ with LeBron and the Cavs in 2016. By the way, they're mocking me, folks. Just know this. I was telling Dahntay Jones, who's just being a great dad and all that stuff and coaching, and we were talking about movies during the break, and I said I'd seen Bohemian Rhapsody and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I told him I watched Star is Born a week ago, and I cried, and he goes, "You cried?" And then Joy said, "You cried?"
Okay, you're putting an inflection on my voice that is unfair. I just asked you if you were being in a way that were you being serious. I also cried at the end of Star is Born.
I thought you meant like it was as a figure of speech rather than did you technically cry?
Right.
Did a tear really come out your eye?
Yes.
You almost wanted to cry. There's two differences.
No,
in that. Like,
I cried.
I could have cried, but
there was an actual tear that came out. Star is Born.
Multiple tears, or just like one?
Oh,
you
now
got
you're
it out
breaking
of it real quick.
down. It was. I mean,
no, it's a difference.
You
like,
need a tissue,
did you
okay
sob, or did you like? Did a tear come out? And you had to get it out of there, and then
two tears isn't a sob. Now that's I'm told that sobbing is like I can't control myself.
You give me one of those? I'm just checking to see how much it moved you.
Here, it moved me enough that I had to, at the end of the movie, wipe a moisture from.
Now that's a good movie.
That's not losing my breath.
Okay, I'm just checking. I had to ask. I asked these questions just to find out.
Yeah, that's right. That's accuracy. You've always been about accuracy.
How your soul was affected.
So Lakers beat the Celtics, lose to Philadelphia. Could I not just say they're a young team? When LeBron's not on the floor, you don't know what you're getting. This is who they are. LeBron has to be on the floor for this team to be relevant. If he's not on the floor, they're not a relevant team. It's 10 transactions. I like Kyle Kuzma. He dropped like 39 against the Sixers. He can play, but there's moments he disappears for quarters. He's not a great player. He's a young, good player, which like Jason Tatum, they disappear. They have moments. The Lakers are an average team, and they have moments when they're very interesting when LeBron's on the floor.
Right, I think they could be very interesting defensively with all their length. With LeBron on the floor, that puts them in a different stratosphere.
Yes.
But he can't play every game, all game right now. So in the playoffs, I think they'll be an interesting team.
And that, let me ask you like the tear duct question. Is interesting mean one series win max?
Depends on the matchups. The playoffs are about matchups and timing and who's hot. And see, he turns into a different individual when it comes to playoff time.
Does, yeah.
And I think that can give them some confidence. Now, it depends on what team they're playing and where they're at in their life cycle as a basketball team. But he can make it very interesting in the playoffs. Do I see them win a championship? No, but I see them learning, that young core learning how to win, learning their roles, gaining some confidence, learning how to play with him. So I think this is a great learning year for a young core.
So LeBron is at the Duke game looking at Zion Williamson. People freak out.
Here we go again.
And then KD, and by the way, I defend LeBron on that. He has a right to go watch.
Right, he can go watch basketball games, right? That was like the highest rated basketball game this year
by far.
At Cameron,
he's the best player. Zion Williamson. Everybody wants to watch him.
He was close to it already. It was cool. Don't worry about it.
And then Kevin Durant's likeness is on a Knicks season ticket renewal, and people freak out about that. And I thought it was funny.
That is funny.
So and then so give me the player perspective on this. You want to build your league around stars. And then when stars talk about other stars or want to watch other stars, you joke about it on your all-star game draft with Charles Barkley. Let's just be real on this. Let's keep it 100, is that this soap opera stuff is why people love basketball. It is a massive component to it, right?
Right.
Baseball suppresses stories. Basketball elevates stories. Like, do the players think this is a bunch of hypocrisy?
No, the drama of this is what NBA basketball is about. The storylines, the drama, everything that goes into it, how teams are created, what the teams are going through, the personalities. I think that's where we have a good game in basketball because of all the personalities associated with basketball.
Yeah,
and the storylines that go behind them too. So,
were you bothered by what the Knicks did, putting KD on a ticket renewal?
Not at all. And even if they did it on purpose, so what?
That's what I said.
It just is what it is. We have fun with the game of basketball and all the storylines that go with it, and so it just is what it is.
Let me shift to something. I was saying earlier that the triple-double means nothing to me.
Why is that? Because you don't like Russell Westbrook.
No.
No, what would you do? You like Russell Westbrook?
I think he's really talented.
The triple-double is extremely hard. It's hard to do two things very well in the course of a basketball game. To do three things very well, like people get paid high amounts of money to average double figures in two categories, right?
Yeah.
Like they get loads of money to do that. But when you can do it in 3, you're really doing something special.
Or are you really concerned about that when there's no proof that LeBron's had nights that he wouldn't call great nights and he's had triple-doubles, and then there's nights that LeBron doesn't and has exceptional nights. Westbrook has been part of a 11-game, 10-win streak. Why? He's shooting less. That when Westbrook is less volume-driven and lets Paul shoot 20 times and he shoots 12, they win. And then when he jacks up more shots, and I get more...
I agree. I agree with you on that point. The scoring, he's going to average double figures in scoring because he's aggressive. But if he tames back his shots, they are a better basketball team.
No question.
You're right, but it takes a lot of effort to get double-digit assists and a lot of effort, especially as a guard, to get double-digit rebounds. And he brings a lot of effort to the game on the scoring end, too. So he's dominant in 3 categories. He could go for 30 any night. He's just not shooting the ball well primarily right now. But it takes effort to do just the assists and the rebounds. It takes extreme effort to do that, especially at his side.
Do you think in the playoffs, when all the lights are on and everybody's watching, that he will continue to let Paul George be the man and take a secondary role? Easy on a
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's maturing. I think he's understanding what it takes for them to win and coexist. And then I'm enjoying Paul George because you see a person at ease right now. You see his spirit is calm right now because he doesn't have free agency over his head. He knows where he's going to be for the next, 4 or 5 years of his life.
Yeah.
And he knows the guy he's playing next to. He's comfortable. He enjoys his surroundings. So those two are working well together. It's not just about the individuals. It's about a collaboration right now.
By the way, the Boston Celtics, Kyrie's hurt. I was told last week from somebody I trust, Anthony Davis will not play for Boston, and I don't think Gordon Hayward is the player he was, nor does he fit. They're the classic rebuild for dummies. They are how you do it. They got the right coach. If you wrote a book, Rebuilding for Dummies in the NBA, you'd put the Celtics on the cover. They draft well. They win every trade. They got the right coach. They're very patient. They sign all-stars. Today, Kyrie Irving's hurt. AD's a pipe dream. Gordon Hayward doesn't fit. 5 seed in the East. Do you buy this rebuild? I mean, I keep hearing this is how you do it. This morning with Kyrie Irving hurt again. It just feels like there's a lot of press and not a lot of results.
See, I buy the AD. I buy the rebuild without AD. Like AD, you're shooting for the fences. You don't have to do that because you already have the ingredients already. Like, I don't understand the message that you're sending to your young core right now when you're involved in the AD scandal and you're telling and you're letting these rumors go around like New Orleans is basically waiting for Boston in this offseason. Like, what are those young kids thinking? How are they able to concentrate? They're having internal problems because you're basically saying, we're going to trade you after the playoffs. So just give us all you got and make this run. But we're getting some of you out of here.
Couldn't I argue?
The dynamic has switched.
Couldn't I argue that's what the Lakers are going through? That as we publish all these things, Kyle Kuzma's like, what am I doing here?
They went through it for 10 days. Like, they had a 10-day stint of that. Now you have like 3 months left of this for Boston because these guys know the timer has started for them. You had a 10-day timer with the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram and the possibility of Lonzo. Yeah, they were under a 10-day timer. But now these guys have the rest of the season and the playoffs, and I don't think that's healthy for them.
You know, I was telling my wife this over the weekend. I said, it's amazing. I said, can you imagine if my name was in the paper and I was going to be traded for 2 sportscasters to be named later? I'm like, people don't understand this. They're married, they have wives, they have families, their kids are in school. This is the school time. This is not a summer league. It's a winter league. Kids are in school. Did you ever have your name in the paper for a trade, and how did it affect you?
I never had my name in the paper for a trade, but I had a trade go a different way than I thought it was going to go, and I ended up going to a team that I didn't think I was going to. So then mid-season, we had to just pack our stuff up and get out of there, and my wife was left with the burden of packing the family up, getting the kids out, and finding a new space in the new place, and that's just – when your home is not in order, then you're not in order. It's hard for you to go to work and be your best and concentrate fully. Yeah, you're getting paid lots of money, but you're still a human. And human beings, when their home is not in order, they just can't be themselves.
Oh, I'm totally the same way. If home's bad, I'm bad.
Right.
Like, I can't do it. I say this all the time. I don't think fans get this. Fans go, you make a lot of money. So do lawyers. It doesn't matter. But if a lawyer woke up this morning and got traded to another law firm, and then you asked him to walk into that law firm, not knowing really anybody in the law firm, and how come it doesn't work? I mean, come on, you're a lawyer, do law and stuff, litigate.
And then what people don't understand is that once you start stepping on the court with that new team, they unload like half a year's worth of information on you right when you get there. Like, you need to learn this, this, and this, this, and this. This is how we do it. So you have to reprogram and kick all that other stuff that was second nature out of your head.
And you start thinking.
And you start overthinking the process. And I have to be here rather when it came second nature. That's what training camp is for. That's what all the years of cohesive and building is for. But once you get traded and thrown to this new team, now you're not winging it. They're not telling you to go out there and wing it. No, we do it like this. You need to be here. You need to remember these. You need to remember these 10 plays. We have these adjustments off of it. And then it's a little bit of disarray for the first week or two after you're traded.
Yeah. I told my wife this weekend, I said, I don't think fans quite understand.
It's difficult.
It's really difficult. Family, wife, bye, see ya. I'm going to Sacramento. Where? Yeah, go look on a map. It's Northern California.
It's not difficult for the guy who has the ball in his hands. So if you're going to be a scorer and they say, where do you want it at? Just we'll fill the rest in later. But
a wing get you the guy?
Ball. Yeah, wing guy who's going to get a lot of touches. That's not who it's hard for. But a guy who has to compliment others and do things for others to make the whole machine work is extremely hard.
Good seeing you. Do you think less of me that I cried at Stars Born?
No, I'm really high on you for having
my
emotions.
Humanity.
Yes.
My humanity.
Yes, you're more human to me today. You were a superstar in my eyes, and now you're a regular guy like me, man.
I cry. 2 tears. Not bawling, 2 tears.
It's being emotionally moved.
Joy had the same feeling as I did when you said I cried.
Yeah, we just wanted to make sure you weren't joking.
Right. That was.
I don't joke about crying. Always serious about tear ducts.
Came out real fast.